welcome to our side of the fence. So it's been a little bit.
You say that and then everybody goes silent. We're all like,
It's been a little bit since we've been in here. It's been busy. It's been busy. It's travel season.
Everybody goes on vacations. Weirdly enough, the fencing company's slow in July.
Yeah, July. Everybody's always surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
But definitely working on people's properties, and our process goes a lot better when our clients are at least home in town when we are doing their installs, and with a lot of our business being 1 and 2 day jobs, I think family vacations definitely put a small damper on our business in July. We kind of see it start to ramp up middle of June and kind of extend through the middle to end of this month every year, which is great. I'm glad everybody's getting out and they're going to see things, taking the kids places, taking those memorable trips. And it also gives our staff, a great amount of relief to do the same thing. Like we have multiple staff members taking time off to go to the coast or go to a theme park, go out of country, whatever that might look like. I mean, John Huff just takes off like 3 weeks a month anyway. Mm-hmm. He took his vacation early to Alaska, the last frontier, as we call that. What was that, the 48th state to be signed on? Do we know that? I mean, it was a later state to be signed on. Yeah.
I thought it was the last one.
I think Hawaii was the last.
I feel like it would be one of those two.
Yeah. The hardest to get
49th.
to.
1959.
What
would have
state
been pretty
was
close.
Do you know what's crazy to think is like for our grandparents, they were born in a time where there wasn't 50 states.
I don't know why we stopped that. Why'd we stop acquiring land?
Hawaii
There's
was
only so
the
much,
last.
Hawaii was what year?
Go after it.
Hawaii was the last, same year, but in August, so the next month.
Of 59.
Beaten by a month.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So it's 49-50.
Yeah.
Like, why don't we make Puerto Rico official? I've always wondered that, and
I
we
don't think
haven't.
they want to be official.
I mean, I don't blame them, but there are a lot of travel rights that extend to U.S. citizens going to Puerto Rico. And honestly, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, why hasn't there been a Puerto Rico trip? But I mean, it is a very long travel day to get there, even from here.
Like, why have I not planned our family Puerto Rico trip?
Yeah,
Oh.
you don't even need passports. I'm just saying.
Do you not?
My mom was born in Puerto Rico.
I know, that's cool. Didn't they lose their birth certificate?
Yeah, they lost her birth certificate. She was born in Puerto Rico, lost her birth certificate. She's married in England, lost her wedding license. So my mom's like, has a really hard time anytime she needs to prove her legitimate
CIA
citizenship.
operative is what that sounds
Yeah.
Yeah,
like.
it does sound like a little undercover agent going on.
Uh-oh.
Secret Service.
Yeah. But what else? What else is any fencing?
Well, Donald
Company
Trump got
updates.
shot
So
at.
speaking of Secret Service, just
Yeah.
kidding.
Talking about Secret
Shot
Service.
heard
Old
around the
DT
world.
got shot in the. Well, that's another historic event.
See his speech last night?
I did
Yeah.
not.
Great
I did
speech.
not.
Yeah. And then he said, I'll tell you what happened, but I'm only going to say it one time. And then he
What'd he say?
talked about the
Oh, and then he-
incident.
Yeah,
And then he's like, I will never talk about it again.
that's it.
That's it.
Done. He's like,
I just think it's funny they keep playing. Well, it's not funny. It's kind of cool. But they keep playing that rap song that, like, they're trying to get me down
the
or whatever.
50
trying
Cent
to take
song.
my life.
Many, 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 many,
That's
many.
just so thug.
Yeah.
Because he got shot a couple times and then lived, right?
9.
9 times.
Yeah.
Dang.
That was,
Go 50
that was
Cent.
hot on my heart when I was a kid. I remember listening to the album he put out after that.
Is that
which
why he wore a
like with
Band-Aid on
End
his
to
cheek?
Club
Did he
and
get
all
shot
that.
on his
No, I
face?
think that's just more of a.
I
He
think
got
that's
shot in-
Nelly.
Oh yeah, I do think that's
Yeah.
Nelly.
I think you're thinking about Nelly.
Was Nelly shot too or no?
No, he just did the Band-Aid thing on his
He
face.
got a paper cut or something. He's like, that's too much.
Too
It
much.
was getting too hot. Like you do see a pretty big divide just when you look at, like if you really go back to like the NWA movie. Which
I was just waiting
honestly one of my favorite movies.
movie.
That is
Saw it in
such a great.
theaters.
Have you seen the
great
NWA movie?
Yes.
We went to the movie
It's
theaters.
phenomenal.
Oh,
Yeah, we
yeah.
saw it in theaters twice.
Tim had to.
I
Really?
loved it.
That's
Yeah,
a good one.
and
Ice Cube.
Mm-hmm.
His son played him, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Which I think that's cool.
But Ice Cube's pretty cool because, like it's like he's been in the game so long, but like he's also took up acting. He's also, he's invested in a lot of things. Like he's, I think you look at guys like Ice Cube and Dr. Dre and like the guys that have been in the game so long that, you know, they're really almost apprenticing, you know, the younger generation. But obviously, like the hip hop and rap games change so much because if we look at like a Kendrick Lamar versus an Ice Cube or a Diddy or any of those guys, like the game is just much, or even if you throw MGK in there or one of those guys, like it is diversely different than it used to be.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, he's a good old
it's,
school one.
it's straight up a business now.
Here's
MGK's coming out with a song with Jelly Roll, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I saw him and Jelly Roll been in Nashville a lot lately.
I love
Are
it.
you a big MGK fan?
No, but I'm a Jelly Roll fan.
No, he's
Okay.
kind of an asshole to me at
Yeah, he was hateful when we saw him at
We saw
Disney.
him in
really.
Yeah, Megan Fox. We
Yeah,
saw
we
him
saw-
and Megan Fox.
Did
and
you?
She was very, very sweet.
Yeah.
But he was a prick.
Did y'all talk
How did
to
that
him?
go down?
They were just, they didn't
And,
have
well,
security or anything. They were
did-
just walking
with a cast member.
with a cast
And
member.
nobody really noticed him. I saw him from way off, and we weren't like in their grill or anything.
No, we
but
were like super
he,
chill about
he
it.
gave me a look that could have about slit my throat.
Like you
right
could
there
tell
in the
they
park.
were trying
But Megan
really
Fox
hard
is very
to
nice.
be like
She's very sweet.
undercover and
Mm-hmm.
not create a scene or anything like that. And Tim, like, we just like walked up to them quietly, and Tim's like, "Hey, MGK, like I'm a big fan," and he was just like shut up, you know. And Megan Fox was like, "Thank you," and that
And
was
then they
it.
left. Yeah,
I think she's
Is-
from Oak Ridge.
she is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they were in Avatar Land.
Funny story. When Tim seen your pictures, I don't know why I was there. I think that's a little clingy of me to be there, but I was there for his senior pictures, and the
Stage
photographer.
5 clinger.
I'll own it now at 32. But, yeah. And the photographer was like, "Smile," and Tim's like, you know, and they're like, "Smile," and the photographer's like, "Think of Megan Fox," and Tim's like,
That did it. I had
There we go.
an
Yeah,
autographed
childhood
picture
crush.
of her
"Of Megan Fox."
for like 20 years, and then finally I threw it out. once
Man,
on one
I
of
had
my
an
last
autograph.
moves.
Yeah, so you shouldn't have done it. I had an autographed portrait of Taylor Swift that we got from a client for the longest time, and I carmed it. It was like
You did what?
authenticated. I carmed it. I gave it a
that.
carm. Remember? It was like her first.
I forgot you had that.
Oh,
Yeah, we
I
got
wouldn't
rid
have
of
let
it.
you
Like-
carm that.
No, I think you were like, it's in an ugly oak frame. Get rid of that.
Well, honestly, I don't know what I would do with it, but
I mean, I don't think it's really. I don't think
the
the
amount of
autograph
shit that we
market's what it
donate
used
to
to be.
Carm. Anyways,
know.
all right,
She's
back
probably the most famous woman in the world right now.
Taylor Swift
Absolutely.
Probably.
by far, for sure. I'm sorry, the smell of Fabuloso mixed with dog pee in here is giving me a headache.
I don't smell the dog pee.
All right.
I don't. It smells like habaneros in here to me.
We have Puppy Palooza going on, so Milo got a puppy. Her name's Ayla. Another one of our staff members, Mike, got a puppy. His name's Roscoe. And then we always have like 2 or 3 other dogs that are here, so it's legit like Puppy Palooza.
It's a little overwhelming.
And they all come in Milo's office. and pee.
they're doing good though.
Which
It's
this is
grass.
Milo's office.
The young
Yeah,
ones,
it's a
at
little
least.
confusing for him because
Yeah.
it looks like grass. Probably smells like outside. 'cause
Trying
it
to
was
be good.
outside.
Yeah, and the cedar and everything else.
Yeah.
It is a little.
Yeah.
Can't blame them, but
Can't blame them at all.
we'll switch it out here soon.
Hey, are you all gonna do that half marathon again? Are you
Yeah.
doing the half again?
I'm
Not
really
that.
looking
It's a
forward to
different
it.
one, but yeah.
The Smoky Mountain one you were talking about?
Which I mean, we'd probably do the city of Knoxville again too.
Yeah, I'm sure we
I don't
will.
see
We
why
should
not.
probably pick up
I wanna-
Logan's registration fee since he got our Morgan Wallen tickets.
Okay.
It's
I
probably about even.
want to do.
What's the registration?
I think we should.
There's
do
a registration fee?
relay. I think we should do the relay next year.
Ooh, well,
okay.
it's like
For
it's
the
like
full
7 to 8
marathon.
miles.
Yeah.
It would be fun to do the relay.
It'd be
Yeah.
fun to do
Little
the
team bonding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many
I like
people
the
are in the
relay.
relay?
Everybody run it shirtless.
Is there a
You ready?
baton?
Yeah.
How many people are in the relay?
Use
Four.
a fence post.
It's 4 pit. Yeah, that would be hilarious. Like a 6+1 terminal.
Yeah.
You
Bolt
guys,
on barb arm.
No, that's a lot to carry.
That'd be funny.
Put some wheels on it just in case you need to drag
That
it.
would be cool.
That would be funny. Just an aluminum panel with like backpack straps. Nobody's running near you.
I don't know if I could do that for a few miles. That's tough.
It's like rucking.
To an nth degree, reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, do you know what's interesting about I think just the housing market as a whole, as we were sitting in a
Sidebar.
How does that? Yeah. how does
sidebar.
that
Well,
convert?
I'm going to bring it all back around because obviously our fence company, is kind of driven by the real estate market to some
So
degree.
this has nothing to do with Ruckin. Got it.
Nothing to do with Ruckin, but we were sitting in a closing on a house we bought for us that we're remodeling to move in, and our closing agent was saying that this is the slowest she's been in 4 years right now, and it's just, I think we're getting this buildup of higher rates, and like really inventory's nothing to write home about. It's not like there's a ton of inventory, and we're talking with our lender, and they're finally talking about September through April doing 4 rate decreases. So I think that'll be good for us at the fence company as well as the general housing market as a whole. I think you'll see another flood of homes hitting the market at new high price points and a new batch of buyers.
Yeah, and that's what DJT announced last night too.
Yeah.
That would be his goal too. If that's important to people, whatever.
I think it's important for the housing.
That's
I
super
mean,
cool.
statistically, the rates still are not that high. They're average right now. Like, honestly, like 7.5, if you're not buying points. Like, at the end of the day, I think if anything else, it's like a little bit of a safety buffer for everybody to not be over purchasing at the moment. Because at the end of the day, like anybody that house shops and it's your second, third, fourth house, like you're buying more square footage than you need. Probably in a part of town you never really even truly wanted to live in, et cetera, et cetera. Hell, we moved to Hardin Valley a few years ago. Now we're moving back to Fountain City. Like, I'm not saying I'm even exempt from it. Like, we've all bought something that you have a little bit of remorse of later. So,
No, and I think it definitely will. I mean, even if it's just like how it normally is for July and how it normally with vacations or thinking about vacations or about to go on vacations or coming off of vacations, and then that's just your average fence market. But as far as the market as a whole, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a rate drop though. Be cool to see what that looks like.
I also think, well, I'd be curious. Do you guys think that it's like the mom of the house or the dad of the house that initiates a fence?
it's whoever's most inconvenienced by
So-
not having a fence.
That's a good point.
So I'd say a lot of times it would be the female in the house
Mom.
that whoever leaves later for work even, or whoever works from home. I think it's that person.
Yeah. I
Just
think-
because you got to leash up that dog how many times a day, you know what I mean? Like those things, and
Or the kids
Or
can't
the
go
kid,
outside
yeah.
and play.
Or just
Tired of seeing the neighbors.
tired of seeing the neighbors.
Yeah.
You got old peeping Tom next door.
It is interesting how it's more popular now because I can go to the neighborhood I grew up in, and I remember there were like no fences. Everyone still had dogs. We didn't have a fence when we grew up. We had dogs though, and they would just hang out around the house. And then when you go, like I remember the backyards were open, so we'd walk out our backyards, and it'd be like going to his house, going to my house, going to whatever. And it's like this zigzag. You can go down the same street now, and it's all fenced.
Oh.
And it's just like it's more. And I could imagine that. Like, there's no way I would have lived there without a fence. And so it's just kind of like I feel like everyone now is getting to that point of. I don't necessarily think it's COVID or anything like that. I just think people are a bit more private nowadays, and people
No,
aren't
I
as
agree. I think it's property rights too.
outside
Like,
and property rights.
Tennessee
and
has clearly
privacy.
became a very pro property rights state, and then we get an influx. Like out west, everybody has fences. Like it's rare. Like I can only remember one instance where I never saw like two neighbors that didn't have a backyard fence between the two of them. Like, I mean, can you think of any?
No, but
I mean,
always live
everybody
in
was
neighborhoods.
gridlocked with fence
Yeah.
out west.
I thought that was the weirdest thing when we moved here. I remember saying that like the first week. I'm like, nobody has a fence here. This is so weird. Before we even owned Tim Sensing, I'm like, everything's so open.
It was bizarre
It's
because I was
not-
like, how do you know? Because then there also wasn't like clear survey markers a lot of times. So I'm like, what, you just guess, split the difference between these two houses and you just mow your line? Like, I mean, I remember it was bizarre, especially like we bought a house in Fountain City and none of the neighbors had a fence unless they had a pool. And
It was all like hodgepodge together. Everything felt really hodgepodge.
And I feel like now it's getting to the point where your house kind of feels naked without it because it doesn't really. cement it, especially the D.R. Horton Smith built scenario. Like you have to have
you
one.
have to.
And even on Murphy, where it's now you drive by,
Mhm.
everybody has one. Because before, it just feels like you walk, okay, we just need a fence.
Yep.
And everything's done, but we just need a fence. And that's kind of, even if you buy an older home now and it didn't have a fence, it's just much more common, much more popular. And
even more
I
of
don't
a
know.
privacy style fence than anything. I'd say like less chain link. There has been an influx in aluminum in the market, of course, but I mean it's a lot of wood privacy and PVC, wood privacy and PVC, and it's it is interesting. I mean, I honestly, like, not just because I'm the fence man, but I do think it's a preferred way of owning property to have a fence, just because it's not. Man, I love my neighbors. I'm a great neighbor too. Like, I'm not the guy that's out late. Like, I'll help you out, whatever you need. But it's just the fact that, like, here's, like, when this land was split off, it was split into lots, and here's clearly approximately where the lot line is, and it's just the fact that, like, I'm responsible for everything here, you're responsible for everything there. I'll open, like, I've had plenty of houses with gates between us and our neighbors. Like, we get along great with our neighbors most of the time, so it's like, hey, come on through, But I just think it's great to, or in the event that you sell the house, it's very clear what conveys.
it's a nice bow to put on it.
Absolutely. And it makes your backyard a little bit more useful in certain senses. 'Cause
Absolutely.
for dogs and the kids, like you're saying, and you throw a ball for fetch, and you don't have to worry about the dog just chasing a squirrel or anything.
I mean, even that, like, if you're a big yard guy and you like a perfect yard, like, trim right around the fence, everything in your side is perfect. Doesn't really matter what the neighbors look like. I mean, obviously there could still be a weed transfer or something like that, but if you have a privacy fence, like, you're gonna have less of that pollen and everything else drifting onto your yard. So, I'm a fan. I love it. I think the Knoxville market loves it too right now. But I mean, there's no doubt fences are expensive. It's a hard thing to jump over.
Yep.
So,
Hard thing to do for cheap.
Do we have any fun fence stories or like something cool we fenced in lately?
Gosh, we had a story the other day about a client that we were both like, we need to talk about that on the podcast.
Well, we
Yep.
did.
I can't think of it though.
I can't think of it.
We
It was a horrendous client. I remember that.
Oh.
Oh gosh, I wish I could remember that.
Well, we did the cutest. Milo went and popped footage of it at the end of Gibbs. I love that fence, and that house is so cute. Talk about putting a bow on it. Like, that's an old historic house. They remodeled the whole house. It's gorgeous. It didn't have a fence. And then we went and did a fence week before last, and it's a like upgraded cap and trim. It's so cute. It looks so nice. I'm proud of that fence.
It looks good.
I'm like, it looks so good, and it's right, like, literally you drive down Gibbs and it's at the end, and it's so pretty. I'm like, ooh, I'm proud of our boys.
I think that was Horatio's job. It was like a board-on-board cap and trim.
Oh,
Over
okay. Right here on.
Jacksboro Pike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a super
Looks
cute house
so
too.
cute. Yeah. Milo went and did footage of it with like Kelsey Ballerini music. That's been seen like 1,500 times. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's
It looks so good.
that was cool.
I feel like our videos are just. I was looking at our Facebook page yesterday, and I'm like, dang, dang,
And we have that.
Malo's killing it.
We have the billboard on the freeway right
Billboard
here.
on 640.
Did
That
you
looks
see
great.
that with your new design? It looks so good.
Near the Go Hero. Or whatever.
Yeah,
Yep.
right on top of
It's
the
right by Go Here.
The Go. It looks so good.
Yeah, we're getting our name out there, which is the goal, and I think it's gonna pay off well here in a few months.
And we got
We'll
some
see that
big
stuff.
things coming up.
Big things.
The Smokies game.
Yeah.
And then in October, Boo at the Zoo. We're going to need to plan that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty excited about the bathroom signs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get some more salesmen, some more
I'm just gonna
installers.
post
Did
up
the-
a Tim's fencing guy in the bathroom.
Did the bathroom
Carolina
sign-
Ale House,
Wait.
Calhoun's,
Those
all that.
bathroom
The
sounds get
Mascot in
cooking.
there?
They did that not work out, the bathroom sign thing?
It did.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
we're
think
doing
it-
it?
yeah,
Why are you
yeah.
sad about it then?
I'm excited.
Oh,
About it.
excited. I was
Excited,
like, why are
yeah.
we sad?
Being
Yeah.
facetious.
Oh.
I'm saying it's
Yeah, so now
gonna be
Bill's about to
big.
be
Are they,
busting
like-
the doors down.
are they just in front of
me.
the urinals or are they in front of the toilets too?
Urinals.
Urinals only.
And I do think they're really not just sarcasm.
So we're in the West Town Mall too.
Dang. Oh, that's cool.
Where's that? That in the bathroom?
It's the Axe House. Like,
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. I didn't know they had that in the mall.
It's like kind of on the dead side, you know, where that
Well, it's
guy's
by
belt
96
is.
kicks, but
We're going to Build-A-Bear there today for Avery. It's her
oh,
birthday today. We'll take her to get a birthday.
happy birthday!
Okay, let me give you a
Avery.
heads up about that Build-A-Bear
It's
thing.
only the birthday
It's
bear,
only the birthday bear.
which for a normal
they
person
trick
that's
you.
not a problem.
Honestly, for Avery, she's so little, you could probably get away with it. But we took Brantley there this year to do it for the first time, and he was like,
He's like, I don't want
I
a
don't
bear.
want this brown bear. I want I make him sound like a I make him sound like a spoiled brat. He was like, Mommy, I don't want the brown one. I want the cool dinosaur one or whatever.
Yeah.
That's normal price.
Oh, to get where she's 3, so it'll be $3.
It'll be $3 so
Yeah.
you get the brown bear or whatever.
I'll sell her the brown bear.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine with it because
You could get Minnie Mouse, but the brown
look
bear.
at this brown
Yeah.
bear right here.
Yeah, come on now.
Just to give you a heads up about that, because I was like, I thought they were all $7. Nope.
So 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Isn't that crazy?
growing up quick.
I know.
Growing up.
I know. Got her. She was playing with her Tony box last night.
What's
That's
a Tony
new
box?
New thing for kids her age is like a.
My kid's only 7, and I feel like out of the game.
Yeah, we're at a
Well, it's like essentially, I love it because it's more so. It's a very playful radio, so you don't necessarily have you don't have like a 2-3-year-old sitting there looking at like a TV and stuff like that. It's like she has a little box, and she'll put little figures of Toy Story or princesses or whatever, and you put them on it.
I'm gonna
And
Google
then
this.
they sing and like they tell their story, and
Oh,
you
that's
like
cool.
sit there and listen, and they create like a picture, like they use their imagination, and it's like, and so she enjoys it, but she only lets them on there for like 2 seconds. Like I'm like, everyone's got to sit here and listen, sweetheart. But
They have these at Hobbytown.
yeah,
see.
They're like the
they're
little.
really cute.
Hold on, let me spell it right. These like little boxes and then the little characters. They
Yeah.
have those at
Yeah, yeah,
Hobbytown.
yeah.
And it's cool how they're triggered by like a magnetic thing, because then she'll put the magnet on,
And then she had like you have your little carrier with all your little things.
and then you can do a shelf where you have all her Tonys, and then this. And
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, B would have dug that.
He probably still would.
yeah,
Yeah, he probably.
I mean it's
Do you know what I've noticed with Brantley though is like, he gets all these gifts from birthdays and Christmas, but he is still literally like whatever is easy to access. That's what he does. Like lately, it's been this soccer ball from Jamaica and this little goal that we got from Carm, and that's just like, and it's tore up too. Like it is tore up, this little mini goal, and that's what's out all the time. Just out in the living room, kicking the ball in it, kicking the ball, and I think that's just like I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about it was a parenting podcast, and they were talking about the fact that like the less toys your child has, the more they'll play with the toys. The fact that like if they have so many options right there, that's when it's like I'd rather just watch TV. Like I can't even figure out what I want to play with. And I think I've noticed that a lot since we've moved and everything's been in boxes. It's just and the easiest thing to get out is just this soccer ball. Then
That's all
I'll
it
kick
is.
the ball, and then he's like, "Let's go play baseball out front in the front yard." And
Say less. Let's go.
I don't know. That's why I love this 1,000 square foot.
I know.
Because we moved, so our house in Hard Valley, is about 3,000 square feet, and we're packing that up and slowly moving into this house that we bought to flip, and we moved into that, and it's like I don't even think it's 1,000 square feet. It's probably like 900 square feet, little 2-bedroom. But I'll tell you what, like. Obviously, like, the closets have been tough, but it's the summer, so we're just wearing shorts most of the time. It's not a big deal. But like in all reality, it makes me sad. But I'm like, this is what houses were like in the 40s, 50s, 60s. Is they were these, 1,000 to 1,400 square foot houses, people with 2, 3 kids living in them, and like that was all America knew. And really once the 50s started and the Keeping Up with the Joneses era started, like houses started getting substantially bigger because our last house I lived in Fountain City, like the original footprint, and it was built in 55 or 56. It was the first year that like really drywall was being used prevalently. And it was the same thing. Like the original house was 1,200 square feet. And then a couple owners before us did like a 600 or 700 square foot massive addition on the house, but it's literally the exact same house we're living in now, just flip floor plan.
Yeah.
It's funny to see. Because then
just get bigger and
like
bigger.
even D.R. Horton's building a lot of 3,000 square foot houses.
It's interesting to think about the different house styles throughout the decades. And,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it.
Like 60s style and then 70s style, 80s style.
The cool thing about
Brick
Knoxville
and
is
all.
you can see them all.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you have an opportunity to drive on an Old North and you can see all those houses, and then, go to Fountain City and see like the 50s and 60s, and then where would you go? West Side?
Well, I mean, even say like
70s and
Sequoia
80s.
Hills is a good example of like the 40s, 50s, and 60s on
Yeah.
a bigger scale. But yeah, I mean, as you work west, like a lot of West
They get
Knoxville wasn't
newer.
even being built till the
Yeah.
70s plus, especially like down North Shore, like those early neighborhoods, were like late 70s into the 80s. And then,
Yeah.
you really
Yeah.
don't see mass
Head more
building.
towards Nashville and it gets newer and newer and
Newer, yeah. Go get some modernness out there. But it is interesting, and Sarah and I talk about this a lot. Like,
I nerd out.
like there's people that like they just want to move into a house that's turnkey and it's exactly how they like it. They don't want to do any projects, and like that's great. And I really like providing that as a service when we sell real estate to people, that like anything you could think of, it's done. Like this house has a bow on it. Boom, here you go. I think Sarah and I are the opposite. Like I don't think our Hardin Valley house ever felt like home because it was built in 2019 and it was all trendy when it was built. But like we even re-sided the house and obviously built the garage with the living space and the pool and all that, and like did our best to make it our own. But like we could never justify doing the inside of the house because
There was
at the end of the
nothing
day,
wrong
like
with
we
it.
would have taken it apart and put it back together 90% of the way it already was, just with a few different color options and door choices and this and that. But I truly do think like Sarah and I thrive on the fact that we'll just tear it down and rebuild it the way we want it, and that's what makes it feel like home. Not necessarily that you just walk in and your jaw dropped. Like I think we really prefer that it's individualized to us, and that sounds dumb, but
Just custom.
we're doing it again.
I don't care. It brings me joy.
Yeah, I like it. We're gonna go try to update our driver's licenses today. That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our driver's license expire. I've never lived somewhere long enough that my driver's license expires.
I know. What's your photos look like?
I was fat.
Simply put.
Seriously. This is bad. Oh, I don't have it. I was like this.
Wait,
Tim
they-
looks high.
They expire every 10 years, right?
Eight.
This is 10. Oh, 8. So this was 8 years ago.
Yeah, when we very first moved to Knoxville.
Wow.
Married for 10, lived here for 8.
Yeah.
Are y'all going up to the DMV up here?
Yeah.
That's our favorite one. Well, I really like Union County, but we'll stay down here.
What are y'all doing for your anniversary?
We're
Oh,
going downtown.
just
Knoxville
downtown,
tonight.
rented a cabin at one of the historic hotels.
Tim,
There you go.
we're gonna go
Skipped
get
2
drinks with
seconds.
the Antles.
Okay. That'll be fun.
And we're gonna. Oh,
We'll
there's
probably
this new
go
place
fill-
called Vita. There's a restaurant called Vita. I don't know if it's new. I've never heard of it. And we're gonna eat there. And then there's a speakeasy called the Vault, and it's underneath it. But you have to make reservations.
Very
so I'll let
cool.
you know how it goes.
Then I think we're going to go
Sounds
jet
fun.
skiing on Saturday.
And I
After
heard
we
that
have to
they
check
have a
out.
drink that has a bathtub, and it's called what?
That's at the Kennedy.
Oh,
Milk and honey
it's a
is
cocktail.
the drink.
and you get a little rubber ducky. I don't know. I thought
What?
that sounded- yeah.
Sounds interesting.
If
We
we
haven't-
know Sarah, she loves her rubber duckies.
We haven't been downtown Knoxville
It's
in a long time.
In a bathtub?
It's
Like in a bathtub cup?
yeah, and then you get a little rubber ducky.
No kidding.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'm
That's different.
You're going to the mall to get a Build-A-Bear?
Yeah.
We're gonna go downtown.
We're gonna be with your cousin.
Yeah, we'll be with your cousin. What are you doing this weekend, Milo?
Probably taking care of Ayla. It looked like rain, but I might go up to the Cumberland Gap National Park or whatever.
No, that's
Are you
fine.
gonna go hike with Ayla?
I might take her for a little one. She's
Still do.
still a little bit young to be doing too much, but probably
Yeah,
train her a little bit, hang out with her, and
be good.
We-
have a good weekend.
We should go mountain biking again. That was like
Yeah.
a big hype we all had for like 3 seconds, and then we didn't do it again.
Oh, I'm ready.
And by we,
go.
I'm not in that we, but other people.
Logan's gonna get the mongoose out.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The Huffy.
We'll put some pegs on it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'll just bring
Couple
Avery's
bar
birthday
spins.
bike over there. We'll figure it out.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Let's do it.
All right.
Cool, guys.
Well, you guys, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Tuesday.
Oh yeah, it'll be Tuesday when this drops.
Yeah.
Drops.
When it drops.
You
Over and
have-
out.
If you have anything you'd like us to talk about, we are open ears for
I'll put a request.
put a request. Okay, sounds good. Cool. Thank you. Bye.